Dimly lit archive room, shadows dancing across dusty shelves lined with forgotten tapes and sealed files. A faint hum of an old reel-to-reel recorder. The screen flickers as if unearthing a long-buried signal. Fax! Narrator's voice emerges, grave and resonant, like a whisper from the void. In the shadowed vaults of Cambridge's archives, sealed away for decades, lies a transcript no one was meant to hear. A private interview with Stephen Hawking, conducted in his final years, where he confessed thoughts too radical for publication, ideas that blurred the line between physics and the eternal. Suppressed not for error, but for what they implied, that death might not end us, but unravel us into the universe's deepest secrets. This is that lost recording, reconstructed from fragments the world was never supposed to know. Hawking's wheelchair gliding through corridors of equations scrawled on blackboards, the year 2018 ticking like a cosmic clock. I am Stephen Hawking, the physicist who peered into the heart of black holes and unraveled the fabric of time. Born in 1942, struck by ALS in my prime, I defied a body that betrayed me to explore the cosmos unbound. For over 50 years, I lectured on the universe's grand design, from the Big Bang's echo to the quantum foam of reality itself. Yet, amid the acclaim, certain reflections remained hidden, tucked into unpublished notes and off-the-record conversations. Why? Because they ventured beyond testable theory into the uncharted realms of consciousness and what lies beyond death. These weren't public musings, they were doubts scribbled in the margins of manuscripts, interviews deemed too speculative by gatekeepers of science. Overlooked in the rush to canonize my work on relativity and cosmology, they gathered dust, a forbidden archive challenging the finality we all assume. Core revelation. Let us confront the heart of it. What endures when the body fails? In my research, I long grappled with black holes, not as cosmic graveyards, but as preservers of information. The no-hair theorem once suggested they swallowed everything whole, but Hawking radiation revealed otherwise. Information, that elusive essence, leaks back into the universe, never truly destroyed. Apply this to the mind. Consciousness isn't a fragile spark of biology, it's an intricate pattern, woven from quantum entanglements in the brain's neural web. My unpublished explorations into quantum gravity hinted at something profound. The brain doesn't create awareness, it tunes into it, like a radio receiver pulling signals from the ether. Death, then, severs the hardware, but the broadcast? It persists in the universe's infinite lattice, transformed yet intact. No heavenly choirs or ethereal souls, but a reconfiguration, echoing through the space-time continuum. This wasn't idle philosophy. It stemmed from equations I'd derived but never fully shared, equations showing how information defies entropy's grasp. The hologram fractures into neural pathways lighting up in sync with cosmic pulses, building a sense of interconnected dread. Philosophical/psychological expansion. Delve deeper, and the existential weight crushes in. Imagine your thoughts, your loves, your regrets, not as fleeting illusions, but as encoded frequencies rippling across the multiverse. In my suppressed dialogues with fellow theorists, I questioned the illusion of linear time. General relativity teaches us that past, present, and future blur at the edges. Why not consciousness itself? The psychological torment lies here. If reality is a holographic projection, as my work on black hole entropy suggested, then death becomes a phase shift, not oblivion. Trapped in a paralyzed form for decades, I lived this truth. My mind roamed singularities while my body stagnated. It bred doubts. Is the self a solitary flame, or part of a vast quantum field? The fear isn't extinction, but fragmentation, our identities dissolving into the cosmic whole, aware yet anonymous. These ideas, buried in redacted papers, force us to confront the psyche's fragility. What if the hidden architecture of the mind links us eternally to every star-born atom? Screen pulses with ethereal waves, evoking a mind adrift in the void, the atmosphere thickening with unspoken urgency. Additional speculative reflection. Consider this, drawn from the fringes of my quantum consciousness models. After death, our awareness might entangle with parallel realities, splintering into echoes that observe the living from unseen dimensions. Not reincarnation, but a subtle interference, whispers of influence in the probabilities that shape tomorrow. The math aligns with multiverse theory. It's a possibility as tantalizing as it is unprovable, suggesting we're never truly alone in the grand computation. Sex 1.5. A solitary figure silhouetted against a star field, the weight of infinity pressing in, voice softening to a contemplative hush. As the stars wheel on, indifferent to our mortal coils, one question lingers in the silence of this unearthed archive. If the universe hoards every whisper of information, what secrets does it still hold about the you that persists beyond the grave? Dimly lit archival footage flickers on screen, grainy images of a wheelchair-bound figure in a lecture hall, equations scrawled on a blackboard, whispers of a voice synthesizer echoing faintly. A timestamp reads, "Unreleased transcript, 2017, sealed upon death." Ominous music swells. Imagine a genius's final words, locked away in a vault, dismissed as delirium by those who guarded his legacy. Stephen Hawking, the man who unraveled the universe's secrets, left behind a hidden recording, suppressed interviews where he dared to question not just black holes, but the very spark of our existence. What if his mind, trapped in a failing body, glimpsed truths too profound, too unsettling to release? Sepia-toned photos of Hawking at Cambridge, intercut with redacted documents stamped "classified." Soft, pulsing synth underscores the narration, building intrigue. Hawking was the physicist who redefined our understanding of time, space, and the cosmos. Born in 1942, he defied a diagnosis of ALS that should have claimed him by 1965, living instead until March 14, 2018, at age 76. In his later years, as his body weakened and his iconic voice synthesizer grew halting, he poured himself into unpublished musings, notes scribbled in private journals, late-night dictations to trusted aides. These weren't the polished theories of A Brief History of Time. They were raw, philosophical probes into consciousness and mortality, buried in university archives to avoid controversy. Why? Because Hawking, ever the skeptic, began weaving quantum mechanics with the enigma of the mind, challenging the scientific orthodoxy that dismissed such ideas as metaphysics. Overlooked for years, these fragments only surfaced recently, pieced together from a forgotten hard drive in his office, material his estate deemed too speculative, too human for public eyes. Swirling quantum particles morphing into neural networks. The narration shifts, as if Hawking's synthesized voice takes over, calm, measured, with a hint of wonder. Core revelation. If existence unfolds as an intricate web of instants, each thought, each glance a ripple across the fabric of reality, then every breath you've taken has already etched its mark on the stars. Consider this from the heart of quantum mechanics, the observer effect. It's no mere abstraction. When we observe a particle, our act of looking collapses possibilities into certainty, reshaping what is from what might have been. Your mind, that fragile vessel of awareness, isn't passive. It actively molds the universe. Do you grasp the weight of that? Consciousness isn't a bystander in the cosmic dance. It's the choreographer. In those suppressed tapes, I pondered this endlessly. If my gaze, even from this chair, alters subatomic realms, what does that imply about us? We're not accidents in an indifferent void. Our presence demands reverence, a quiet sanctity woven into the laws of physics themselves. Sex 1.5. The tone deepens, existential shadows creeping in, Hawking's silhouette against the starry void. Psychological expansion. This revelation gnaws at the edges of our certainty, doesn't it? In my unpublished manuscripts, tucked away from prying editors, I wrestled with the implications for the self, the I that observes, that persists amid decay. Quantum entanglement suggests particles linked across vast distances, instantaneously influencing one another. What if consciousness mirrors that? A thread connecting individual minds to the collective unknown, defying the isolation of death. Philosophically, it stirs doubts about reality's boundaries. Is the universe a grand simulation, our awareness the code that renders it? Psychologically, it invites terror and awe, facing mortality not as erasure, but as a phase shift in observation. In those hidden sessions, recorded in the hush of my study, I confessed a growing unease. What happens when the observer falters? Does the observed world unravel, or does awareness simply redirect, unseen? These questions haunted me, suppressed because they blurred the line between hard science and the soul's whisper. They force us to confront the psychological rift, the fear that our inner worlds, so vivid, might be illusions sustained only by the act of believing. Transitioning to ghostly echoes of Hawking's equations fading into misty figures. Additional speculative reflection. And yet, in one overlooked dictation from 2016, I speculated further. If consciousness is the universe observing itself, perhaps death isn't an end, but a reconfiguration, a quantum echo where the self persists as information, woven into the event horizon of eternity, forever influencing the cosmos from beyond the veil. Screen fades to black with a single lingering equation, E equals mc squared, morphing into a question mark. Music resolves into a haunting chord. So, as the stars wheel on without us, what if your every thought ensures they never truly forget? What hidden observations have we all suppressed, waiting to reshape the infinite?